Alright guys, how to be miserable for the rest of your life. This is a tutorial that I've been wanting to watch for a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Here's a quick tutorial on how to be miserable for the rest of your life. Step 1. Wake up whenever you want to. Don't wake up at a reasonable hour, an hour that makes you feel good about yourself. Make sure you wake up whenever...
So, this is an interesting step. I actually want to do this so bad. The threat of survival makes me get up every single day at 5:30 a.m. So I have to go to my day job. But on the weekends, it's great. I feel much more happy. So I wish I could do this. I can tell you I'm already miserable. So I wanted to see how much these line up with my current life. And so far, this seems like a positive direction for me.
Everyone has had a head start to the day. You really want to make sure you feel like you've missed any chance to start your day off on the right foot.
Bliss.
And when you get out of bed, don't make your bed. And don't shower. Just wear whatever you wore yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I do that. Obviously, I don't have time to because I have to get to work. But I would probably not do it still if I could. I mean, I have a shirt over there that I've worn 3 days in a row. I use it whenever I'm shirtless and it's warm, but I have to put one on to go outside. So.
And head downstairs. It's important that you start the day off with little to no self-respect, feeling as grimy as possible. Step 2. Make sure your house is always a complete disaster. Your house is filled with many rooms, each with a specific...
Turn the green screen off for this. Yeah, so we got that one down.
Purpose. You want to make sure that it's extremely difficult to accomplish those purposes. The pigsty will also help subconsciously reinforce the idea that you're a disorganized person whose life is not in order. This is an extremely important belief to have when trying to remain miserable. Step 3. Procrastinate. When the thought dawns on you to do something productive, like clean your disgusting kitchen, just ignore that feeling. After all, you just woke up.
Just refer to what you just saw. I don't think it's bizarre to say I feel that all the time. I don't even know if it's procrastination at this point, but more a neglect to even care about that.
And you have so much time later in the day to get that done. You want to get in the habit of delegating all your life's problems to the future version of yourself, who will probably have a lot more motivation and energy than you do right now. Step 4.
Yeah, I think I look at it a little bit differently. I don't know if the future self will have the energy. In fact, I actually know they will not. So instead, what I do is delegate it to I'm going to die one day. So eventually I'll just die and I won't have to worry about it. So
look busy. After you sit down to do some work, open up a Word document to help yourself feel like you're being productive. Give your document a nice title, and then immediately open up.
It's better to not even fake it. Just accept that you're not productive. It feels much better that way.
Reddit,
Acceptance
Instagram,
is the
Facebook, and Twitter, just to check if you missed anything. You see, it doesn't really matter.
You're not going to be able to do this anymore with the rate limit unless you want to cough up some money. So there's another way you can be miserable, is give Elon Musk more money.
No matter what you do, as long as you're sitting on your desk and that Word document is open, it'll help trick your conscience into thinking you're doing work, but you won't be getting any further in life. Step 5. Wait for opportunities. Never be proactive with finding new opportunities to grow your career or meet new people. Wait for all of that to come knocking on your door. After all, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You'll meet the girl of your dreams one day and things will kind of just work out. You'll probably also land your dream job if you just wait long enough. Anyways, the important thing is to not take action.
I don't know if people even know what their dream job entails. I think it's just financial security and a peace of mind that the day they wake up, they won't have to worry about starvation or the threat of survival. You know, being in a constant fight or flight mode really puts a tamper on how you can digest daily things. That's the most demotivating thing for sure. So instead of waiting for opportunities, I think personally I'm just broken towards opportunities. I do have a good paying job, It's not my dream job. It's my day-to-day, and it's what keeps food on the table. But it's also terrifying for the fact that if I lose this job, my life will get even worse, which it's already bad. So
don't try to figure out the most effective way to get what you want. Just wait until things work out. Step 6. Be default no. When a friend asks you to go out for a drink, just say no. After all, you're super busy these days and have a lot of work to do. When your boss gives you the opportunity to lead a meeting at work, try to find an excuse to slink out of it. The key here is to give everyone the impression that they should just let you do your own thing.
So this one's actually opposite for me. I do say yes a lot to a lot of things, and the reason I say yes to them is because it makes me feel a little bit alive in this dark cesspit of hell. So I would rather, be playing video games, obviously, but, if my boss asks me to lead a meeting, I can ask ChatGPT to put together a script, and I can do it and feel a little bit of self-worth for a little bit, so that's kind of nice.
Be so good at saying no that people just stop asking you to do anything. Step 7. Be suspicious of people. Never give people the benefit of the doubt.
Always be watching, always be hard.
Believe that everyone basically just wants to take advantage of you, and because of this, you should be guarded and put up walls to protect yourself emotionally.
So, I've already preached this in a lot of my videos. I don't know if I'm suspicious of everybody. I just know that nobody cares about me. It's a totally different functionality. It makes you feel much better knowing that nobody cares about that you are a lump of flesh in this world. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. It is what it is. So no reason to be suspicious because they're going to forget your name as soon as you say it.
Assume the smiles people give you are
make
fake
you feel better,
and that their motives are malevolent. Step 8. Never fix the things you dislike about yourself. Continue to engage in activities that make you feel subhuman and weak. Never prove to yourself that you can overcome obstacles or better your.
I don't like the examples that they're putting here. I don't think this guy is the arbiter of truth and gets to decide what makes you. I mean, maybe he's just giving self-examples. But, if somebody wants to smoke weed and drink beer and they feel happy doing that, I would say go ahead and keep doing that. Personally, that's not what I get my shits and kicks out of, but I'm gonna be positively optimistic with this and say that those are his examples of what he considers useless activities, but don't apply those to yourself. This guy he's not the arbiter of truth.
Yourself. Never attempt to transcend your vices or change your lifestyle for the better.
Cheetos are really good. They make me happy.
Subscribe to the idea that people can't change, so you shouldn't try. Step 9. Focus on things you can't control. As often as possible, get pissed off at the traffic, the government, the pandemic. You really want to reinforce the idea that the world is messed up and there's nothing you can do about it.
So I think this is like the funny part where depression really this is where the human emotions take over that I think is funny. So I'm no longer at the point of getting angry at things I can't control, but rather I find humor in them. So we got big businesses fucking us over all the time. At this point I think it's hilarious. I'm like, wow, holy shit, I'm going to die a minnow in this terrible pond. I don't know, there's I actually find a newfound appreciation for the levels and different ways companies and organizations find a way to bone us. It's getting impressive, really. I'm not even mad about it anymore.
Focus on the shortcomings of others, the failings of your country, and the state of the economy. Maintain a constant external locus of control over all the events in your life. This will really help you feel powerless. And if you're trying to be miserable, that's perfect. Step 10. Use fear.
So with my method, you'll still feel powerless, but at least you'll be laughing, which is a lot better than being sad.
As motivation. Make the fear of negative consequence your primary motivator for everything you do. Set up deadlines that frighten you and punish yourself for failing to meet them.
That's how I ended up on Lexapro.
Use white-knuckle tactics to force yourself into productivity and remind yourself constantly that your entire life could fall apart
20
if you don't
milligrams now.
keep your head
Feeling
above
great.
water. Step 11.
It's hard to get
Only do what is
hard.
comfortable. Let your comfort zone be the authority on what you do and don't do. If it's not comfortable, don't do it. Avoid discomfort at all costs and participate only in activities that are familiar and effortless. Don't concern yourself with gaining fresh perspectives or novel experiences. Stay in your lane, operate in your wheelhouse. Step 12, believe you're special. Behave like you're entitled to things on the basis that you're just...
Ooh, okay. This one I actually hard agree with. As in the opposite way. If today was opposite day, right, I would agree with it. So believe you're special. I say this all the time. You're not special. You're not special. Nobody cares what you think. What matters is how you conduct yourself on a day-to-day basis that makes you happy and what you believe is contributing to a good society. Because in the grand scheme of things, nobody cares about the particulate and the minutia or, you as an individual. But what will be noticed is if a constant trend of good people doing good things and, contributing to society, that's what's going to matter. That's what's special, is the community. It's the thing that's the magic is when everybody comes together to be and do something good. So that's why I try to conduct my life, in a positive, at least like happy, humorous manner. Even if I know nobody cares truly about me individually. I mean, obviously my wife does, but what matters is the impact I make on others so that like they can do that same thing, and then eventually there's 1,000 of us and 1,000,000 of us and so on, and we, that those same ideas and positive mindsets get spread throughout the communities. So I think that's the important juice there. But you personally are not special. You're not.
Different than everyone else. Assume that the people that have what you want in life just don't deserve it as much as you do. Always regard yourself as talented, unique, one of a kind. This will really help you develop an outsider complex, which will make it difficult to open up to other people or see things from their perspective. But since you don't want to do any of that uncomfortable stuff anyways, that's perfect. Step 13. See life not as it is, but how you wish it to be. Daydream of a day where things are better. Fantasize about a life where all your problems are gone. You want to make sure you mentally escape as much as possible to distract you from the obstacles in front of you. Pour your
My therapist calls this coping. I just call it a good time. I don't know. If I want to binge watch The Boys, I'm going to binge watch The Boys. Yeah. Man, coping is such a hard thing to get out of. I think that's my number one thing that I struggle with is like when I internalize things, I have to figure out a way to cope with it. And the way I cope with it is doing stuff like this right here. I enjoy making videos. I like devolving into madness on camera for other people to watch. I like binge watching different shows. I like playing video games until 1, 2, 3 a.m., until I have the tea bags under my eyes. Those are my ways of coping, and it makes me feel happy, but it's like a drug. It's a hard thing to address the issues in your life. I feel like I'm definitely trapped in a circle here, and it's a weird thing to find yourself in and how to get out of it.
Mental energy not into fixing your problems or improving yourself, but into building up this fantasy to be as detailed as possible. Reflect daily about what you would buy if you won the lottery or became a celebrity. Constantly compare your life to this fiction and become resentful at the juxtaposition. So, if suffering is what you're after and you crave the daily strife, then you're in luck, because if you follow this advice, you'll be miserable for the rest of your life. This video was sponsored by Audible. The audiobook I'm currently diving into is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. It's been on Amazon's bestseller list for 23 straight weeks now, and I wanted to see what the hype was about. And sure enough, I'm really enjoying it so far. I think the Audible version is especially enjoyable.
I wanted to let the sponsor play a little bit. So, overall, I think this is a good video. It has a lot of good points in it. I think he has the same idea of what I'm experiencing, just I slightly differ on some things. This is a fantastic way to be miserable for the rest of your life. It's a proven metric, and from the comments, that I've been reading, it looks like everybody's partaking in this joint here. So, yeah, the only thing I would recommend, honestly, personally, I mean, this is like a fat guy telling somebody how to be skinny, you know? That's the similar connotation of what's about to happen right here is do your best each day. I struggle with coping personally. That's my thing. But try to find the humor in life. It's truly helped me. Maybe that's my biggest coping factor, and maybe I'm trying to sell you another one of the drugs that are out there to deal with depression, but I find laughing at things is makes it a little bit easier. So